we're going to talk about victim consciousness, that thought that permeates the planet. And this is the thought and belief that we are victims of either our own emotions or someone else's. This consciousness is not just a personal experience. It is also triggered by the wound of the collective. Because we feel that we are separate from each other, we're not feeling the connectedness of the whole in relationship to these beliefs. And one of the ways that we can heal this is to deeply submerge ourselves into the wound that is triggering these feelings. And this we do through our own individual consciousness, meaning that we individually look at ourselves and see that we are acting out this victim role in so many ways. Look at your life for a moment. Where are you lying to yourself? Where are you lying to others? Just notice if you hold back words or feelings so that ultimately you will not be rejected by others. And we're not talking about being honest, telling somebody else about who they are or what they should be doing. We're talking about our own feelings. See where you're trying to fit into the world around you instead of creating what it is you really want and bringing those beings to you that will accept you for who you really are. Our attitude is the most important thing to shift in ourselves. When you take full responsibility for yourself and your actions, you begin to break the stranglehold of the victim consciousness. We use many excuses to avoid this truth, choosing to believe that you're a victim because of the circumstances of your birth, your role in your family, even your location on the planet, your job. These are all ways that we look outside ourselves to experience emotional highs and lows, whether we're blaming or not. If we believe that happiness is an effect of our circumstances rather than a cause, we'll always be victims of circumstance. We'll continue to search for this happiness outside ourselves, not realizing that we will continue to have these emotional highs and lows, always blaming someone or something, our family, God, society, our job, could be anything, when that limited happiness based on circumstances or people evaporates, just disappears. And this is based on a deep belief. It's a core belief that we all have, or many of us, that we are victims. This low frequency becomes a pattern that we continue to reinforce again and again. And we become trapped in this belief by our longing, by our belief in competition and comparison. We're really searching for fulfillment. And when we're fulfilled in one avenue, we need to go find something else to fulfill us again and again. Perhaps something that we haven't thought of is that we have an addiction to the search for fulfillment and not the end result. Perhaps we all have this addiction. I was really thinking about it today when I was sitting before the show and really looking at what is it about? Is it part of the human condition that we are evolving out of? If this is unconscious and we're not aware of it, how do we become aware? Well, just like we're listening to me talk, or I heard it, I read it, I felt it. That's how we rise out of it. We take a look at this inside ourselves. So go ahead right now and take a look at this inside yourself for a moment. If this is true and you weren't aware of it, there is nothing you could do before to get out of this loop that is running you, the unconscious attitude that you have towards life. And now I have a wonderful guest, and I'm going to turn my microphone and find out a little bit about her. Her name's Eola, and she's from Canada but lives in California. And she does something really amazing, but she does photography, but she just doesn't do photography. She has this vision, this project called Jumping for Joy, and she takes pictures of you jumping for joy. And you might not even think you're going to be jumping with joy, but it's exactly what happens. So I want to welcome Eola. Hi, Eola.
Hi, Taj.
You got to talk right into the mic.
Taj.
Yeah, we just had this amazing experience yesterday. But before we talk about that, will you talk about your project and how did you come about this project and how long have you been doing it, and give us all the essentials.
Okay, well, I love taking photos, first of all, and I've just been through a lot of traveling in the last couple of years, and along my travels, I just seem to always love to play and take pictures of people jumping. And then suddenly I came to a crossroads in my life, probably in the last year, and I had to decide, what do I want to do next? So I made a list of all the things that I love that make me feel happy, make me feel joyful and free. And so that included travel. It included meeting really interesting and inspiring people, following their passion, following their dream, living in the moment and feeling joyous. And I love doing jumping pictures. I just love it. And it's like brings you back to being a child and just being free and playing. So that sort of all went together into a project that I just began. I just one day woke up and thought, okay, this is it. This is what I have to do. And I began it and started setting up photo shoots with people. And it just really blossomed into something really beautiful.
So was this in your consciousness for a long time, or was it just inspired in the moment, or what made you be able to shift from whatever you were doing into this?
I think I really focused a lot on myself for a couple of years and tried to figure out what it was that brought the joy to me, I guess. And then when I figured out that's what it was, it's so simple. Like, I love to have fun. I love to take photos. I love to see other people having fun. It's such a simple idea, but it seems to really be impacting a lot of people in a really positive way.
That is for sure. So first of all, she has a website, so you can see what she does. It's www.jumpingforjoyphotoproject or Jump for Joy?
Jump for Joy Photo Project.
Jump for Joy Photo Project, and you can go online and see it. And in it, she has pictures. She's here on the island for another week, and she's had pictures for the past week in her blog, and then little sayings along with it. But you'll recognize some of the people in these pictures too, because they're just people from around that we know or that you've seen around, and they're jumping. And the thing about jumping is you're really afraid at first when she says something to you, because you think, oh my God, I can't jump. I can only jump 2 inches. But she is magical with her camera. It is. It's like magic. And then it inspires you to do silly things, really geeky, nerdy things. That's what I did yesterday. And I had so much fun. I was laughing so hard. And she laughs and makes you laugh even harder.
Yeah.
It's just really amazing.
It is really something magical. I mean, I've had so many people tell me they can't jump, or they're nervous, or they think they're going to look funny, or, and then we do a couple of jumps and I just show them like how great they look, how amazing they look. And it's incredible. Something just opens up and they just go, like, it's like they allow themselves to be free.
Yeah.
And it's really, really fun. And you get like a big adrenaline rush. And I don't know what it is, but I'm taking the pictures and I have the same sensation as the person jumping.
Yeah.
I get just as excited, and usually I'm breaking out of sweating. It's really fun.
That's the thing, is you're really inspiring.
Yeah.
You would go do the jump first so the person can feel, oh, okay, it's no big deal.
Yeah. And I have no problem being goofy and playing, because I just find it fun, and it's really freeing. And actually something that I do that's really, I enjoy a lot, and I probably look like a lunatic, is I do a lot of self-portraits.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be off on my own. Like my friend Anna lent me her car, and I drove off on my own to sort of scout locations. And I brought my camera, and I would set it up and on a timer and run out and just flail around jumping myself, taking pictures. And I start talking to myself and laughing. And I mean, most people can't see the camera, so I just look like this crazy lady jumping around. But some of them turn out really good. And
yeah. And you can see them on her website, because they are amazing. Yeah. Some of them are amazing. And she's got her pictures on the cover of a magazine.
Yes, in Australia.
Yeah. All kinds of good things are happening to you. So can you tell us some of those things that have happened because of the inspirational work that you're doing to you?
I think that it's making me feel really, well, I feel incredible joy, and it's really satisfying, and I feel really humbled actually by the responses I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of beautiful responses on my website, people that are telling me I've made their day and they're feeling inspired, and people telling me that, I mean, I've had such incredible response. I mean, I can't even think of it all right now, but let's see. I've had one woman who lost her son a year ago wrote on my website and said, I feel like I lost my joy, and then I came across your website, and I'm going to come back every day because it's bringing that feeling back. And I was just like so touched by that. It really, really touched me. So that kind of, when that happens, and I think this is such a simple idea. It's not original. People jump and do pictures all the time. But I have an element where I love to see other people succeed, and I love to see people find their joy, which is another element I forgot to add.
This is a huge piece, because this is like selfless service in doing what you love, and then it assists other people in coming into what they love.
Yes. I forgot to mention that one of the big pieces that I really enjoy about this is promoting other people who are following their passion. To me, that is just really inspiring. So I write a newsletter every week and feature one of the people. And I ask them about their passion and about what inspires them and what they're working on, and make links to what they're doing, because I feel like by lifting other people up, I'm lifting myself up too. And the more people that I meet that are doing creative things or taking a risk or putting themselves out there, and that's what you do when you're jumping.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there. You're just exposing yourself.
But you don't feel that way. You don't make anyone feel like they're exposing themselves. No. They're just exposing themselves to themselves, like the part that they forgot.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
incredibly fun.
Yeah. Well, we have Anna Olvera here, and if you bring that up closer to you, I think you're on.
Hi, Taj.
Hi. Well, and Anna is really good friends with Eola and actually brought her to Kauai. So will you tell us about because you did this like a year ago, didn't you?
I did. And it was a very spontaneous experience. We were at the beach. We were visiting Maui, and we just got the camera out. It was pretty early in the morning, and we just started taking pictures of each other jumping, and within half an hour, it felt like all time and space had left. It felt like we'd been there the entire day, and people were walking by us and taking pictures as well. And it was very infectious. It was very contagious. And from the photos, we started to discover that there was this joy that didn't leave. Like, I could look at the photos of me jumping and just really remember it as a beautiful memory. Yeah. And it did change me in a way. It really brought me to a place of, I don't need to forget that I'm joyful.
Yeah.
So it was a really spectacular experience, and to see her photos and to see her growing. I mean, she's all over the world. Not that I'm promoting you, but I mean, she's in Germany, she's in Greece, she's everywhere, and she's gotten 20,000 hits on her website. And so when she said she wanted to come to Kauai, I'm like, oh, please, because it's so beautiful here. And I wanted her to feel the joy of the island, and she's brought the joy to the island as well. So I'm really blessed to have her here.
Yeah, it's really
I'm very
great.
Appreciative.
And that innocence, because that joy it's totally when we're in innocence, right? And when you see children and they're just like looking at a caterpillar and they're like laughing and, like pushing it around. They don't think anything about what anyone's thinking. Yeah. And that's what happens when you're working with Eola. You're just like, you're so infected, you're kind of wanting other people to come in. Oh, come and try this. You won't believe it. It's just like really, really fun. Yeah.
I don't know about if you experience this, but I always experience a sense of almost like adrenaline rush. Like it just lifts you up so much. And I always leave, my face is sore from smiling and my stomach's sore from giggling, and then I have sore muscles the next day.
Yeah, you're really stimulating endorphins.
Yes.
And that gives you that amazing sense of well-being. Yeah. So if somebody would want to do this, how would they connect with you? Through your website or a phone number?
Yeah, they can connect through the website. I have my email, which is info@jumpforjoyphotoproject.com, and that's on the website as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you can reach me. I mean, because you have...
we're on the island.
Okay, well, yeah, while she's on the island, you can reach
my phone
her.
number, my name is Anna, and my phone number here on the island is 4878. And I'm happy to pass the phone on to her and set up appointments for y'all.
Yeah, because it's definitely worth it. And she's staying longer. She'll be here till?
I'll be here now till October 3rd.
Oh, okay. So you're going to,
Yeah, I loved it too much. I couldn't leave.
That's so great. Great.
Yeah.
And you have some projects that you're doing. What is one of your projects?
Well, this is my main focus right now. In fact,
but I mean, aren't you going to do this for like a gallery show?
Oh, yes, you're
yeah,
right.
that kind of project.
Okay, so at the end, the end project that I'd like to do from this is a book, and my goal is to get 1,000 pictures of people jumping from around the world, and put something beside each one about the inspiration or how they felt about the experience. And then I'd love to do a art gallery show with life-size pictures of people jumping.
Oh my God, life-size?
Yeah, so you walk into the room and there's just joy all around you, and then you walk through the joy in panels.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I mean, it feels a long time away because there's a lot of stuff to do before that, but I'm just enjoying every minute of it.
Wow. So if we can just visualize life-size pictures of ourselves, if you close, not you driving, of course, but if you're just listening to this, close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself jumping and flailing. But when she catches you and you're not flailing at all, I mean, you look amazing in these pictures. You feel like you're flailing, but the pictures are these stop action, perfect moments. And if you can imagine that in your mind right now while you're listening to this, and see yourself like stop action shots of you full life or surrounding you like in a big rectangle around you, and just you have to laugh.
And it's right in the peak of your joy. So you're just right, reaching for the sky, flying, and it's so much fun.
Oh yeah. So this is freedom, and the show today is about freedom, and Eola really inspires that freedom inside of you and outside of you, and I think it's a really special gift that you have, and that you've, come forward to really do this, because one of the points here is, what would you do if you could do what you love to do? So we have a person right here, sitting in front of us, and I know Anna does what she loves, and I definitely do what I love, but it's not easy for other people to even imagine that they could do what they love. And so shifting these fears inside of us, bringing awareness to what they are so you can just accept them and release them, or do what you have to, because a lot of times it's a lot deeper than that. You can actually do what you love. Yeah, like you're doing.
And I encourage it.
And the next thing I was going to say is, as we all begin to shift our consciousness, we assist each other. And here we have Eola here, definitely helping everyone assist themselves in this change. And we're moving to a higher frequency. And as we change, we provide momentum for others. That's what she does, to move out of lower frequencies. And as we move out of the victim consciousness we were talking about, we become an open channel for creativity. Eola just fits right here in everything that I was meaning to talk about today. And we begin to live our true destiny of living in harmony and peace. So what it would be like if you could do what you love to do in life? Imagine that. Really imagine it. You probably have, and then just thrown the thought away. Just try for a moment. So one of the things that can create a stranglehold on us, and most people might argue this point, but I'm going to bring it out, is spirituality. And it can be one of the beliefs that's holding us as victim. We keep looking for something, God, that's outside of us. But this will always be beyond our own spiritual experience. Once again, we're searching for something that is unattainable, and we never truly get to experience it. Sometimes seeking can become a distraction that takes us further away from our true nature. We become trapped by the structure of a teaching. We become dogmatic and victimize others who don't, quote, believe what we believe. We can give away our power to a spiritual teacher instead of empowering ourselves by their example, not becoming the teacher that we are. We can go from teacher to teacher, tasting the full buffet of spiritual realities. All these are ways to freedom eventually. But what would it be like to be free of fear, to live in freedom? What does freedom actually mean? So I looked it up in the dictionary, and the dictionary defines it as, I hate these kind of definitions, the state of being free, or at liberty rather than in confinement or under physical restraint. The sentence is, he won his freedom after a retrial. 2, exemption from external control, interference, regulation. 3, the power to determine action without restraint. 4, political or national independence. And 5, personal liberty as opposed to bondage or slavery. And the synonyms for freedom are independence, liberty. Freedom emphasizes the opportunity given for the exercise of one's rights, powers, desires, or the like. Independence of thought that promotes invention and discovery. Openness, ingenuousness, license. Freedom is the reason that people came to America. The spirit of and the desire for freedom is the force behind revolutions. It's the force behind the rebellion that we do with our parents when we turn 10 to 20. It's the rebellion that inspired us even when we were 2 and we started saying no, no, no. Freedom is the spirit within us that moves us forward. And as our awareness begins to grow again, this spirit of freedom pushes us forward, breaking down the barriers that we have created in ourselves. Does true freedom really have anything to do with where you live, your job, your children? Is it really an effect of our lives? If we have true freedom, will we feel more, if we have true freedom, we will feel more expansive and spacious inside. We are the victims of our own beliefs. And as we look at each one of these with deep awareness, we begin to truly free ourselves and become our own true nature. Many of us have stopped dreaming. Eola, sitting in front of me, shows us that she hasn't and that we shouldn't, that dreaming, we can create whatever we want. And the force of the universe is pushing us to dream again and create those dreams and longings in this dimension, not just in the etheric. This year is a powerful energy that's giving us the opportunity to seed those dreams of loving consciousness and awareness into ourselves and into the collective. And there's a lot of people here that really understand the collective, that our fears are not just our own, they're fears of the collective. And the opportunity and the challenge is to step out of that fear of and disengage yourself from the collective so that you can be within yourself and then add your joy to the collective so that the energy begins to shift to truly be one with all of humanity at our very heart. And I really feel like you're doing this. I feel like, Anna, you're doing this. And there's a lot of people on the planet doing it. And to engage with our fears, I mean, it must have been really challenging for you. And if you don't mind sharing maybe what it was that not just inspired you, but what did you do to take the leap? Like, this is not an easy thing to go from having a job, whatever it was you were doing. If you're willing to talk about it.
I think for me, I have always been pretty comfortable with change and pretty comfortable with taking risks. So the leap wasn't actually too big for me, but I was finding a bit of challenge accepting my ability to be creative with photography and think of myself as a photographer. Mm-hmm. I really struggled with that, and I'm not really sure why, but once I accepted that I could create it's more or less as soon as I accepted that I could create whatever my dream was, it just all fell into place. And it was like a decision within myself, because I had come up with the idea earlier, like almost 6 months earlier, just as a fundraising idea because my camera was broken and I was trying to raise money. But I hadn't made that true decision within myself that I was committed to doing it. Mm-hmm. It was more like maybe I'll try this. And nothing really came of it. And I think it's because I didn't really will it to happen. It was more, I was still afraid of it happening. Mm-hmm. So there was still fear involved. And then as soon as I just challenged the fear more or less and said, you know what, I can do this. It's like as soon as I committed to it and just decided and took the leap, basically blindly, then it all fell into place. Everything just started happening.
Right.
And there was fear in the build up to that, but I like to take that on. So right. I just did it. And then little things still come up, like the financial situation isn't always that easy, but I have faith and I believe really strongly in what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm getting so much positive feedback from other people that it's in like enforcing that belief in myself, which is really nice as well. And so I think really it's in a sense commitment to yourself.
It totally is commitment to yourself and to your dream, and that dream is, for however long that dream is meant to be in existence, is possible.
And I really feel like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, Anna can tell you, I am like so excited. I wake up in the morning, go straight onto my blog. I'm editing, like every minute that I can, I'm doing it. And it's not that I feel like I'm working. I'm so excited about it every second of the day.
Yeah.
So it's really very fulfilling in so many ways.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that going on around here. Yesterday we went to a luau, I guess you would call it, and it was a mentoring group. And it's the same exact thing there, you know, that dream of being able to assist children that Mark Anderson has, and then things just happen to co-create that. You know, just like whatever you're doing, you really have people that are co-creating it with you, because if there weren't people involved, it wouldn't be anything.
Until you really believe yourself that it's possible, other people won't believe you, or they won't go for it. So it's like you really have to have a true belief in yourself, which was challenging for me for a while.
Right.
I mean, I did struggle with that, but it's almost like it was a click. And as soon as I did it, it was just straightforward from there. Yeah.
That's great. So if you could tell our listeners something that would inspire them, what would it be?
I think that there's something very fulfilling about changing your perspective about fear and taking it on more as a challenge of growth rather than something that's a block. So a lot of things have come up that have sort of possibly could have thrown me off track. For example, big one, a week after I decided to do this, I sprained my ankle really badly doing jumping pictures, but in heels, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, if I hadn't fully committed to that, that would have thrown me off, because I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't walk. I can't. But I was so inspired still. And I just changed my perspective and said, this is a perfect opportunity for me to develop my plan. So I focused exactly on what I wanted to do. And I looked at it as such a gift, because I sat on my butt for a month. I learned how to do the blog, created a, what's it called? A application. Oh, what's it called? I wrote out exactly what I wanted to do, basically. And every day I would wake up with new ideas and build on it and build on it and build on it and post all my old pictures that were just snapshots. And suddenly it just all went into place. And I always think, if I'd stopped because of my ankle, or if I'd stopped because I was afraid, oh, you know, I don't have the money, I don't have this, you know, you can always make excuses to sidetrack yourself. And it's usually based on fear, because you think you can't do it.
That's what distractions are good for.
Yeah. And so I think that anytime you have a fear come up, and I still get them, just look at it and be like, is this really true? Is this really going to stop me? Or is there another possibility? Is there another perspective I can take on this?
Yeah.
And you always find a way.
Because that is the truth. There is always another perspective. It's just, can we get out of the vicious cycle? And sometimes it's just a vortex spin that goes around and around until you go, oh, you know, and then it opens up to a whole new set of possibilities.
Yeah. So I think that as far as making it, like how you can get inspired by that, is to really, like, when something comes up and you think, I can't do this because of I don't have money or whatever it is, just try and get yourself out of that and think, okay, if I had money, what would you do? And then make a list of that. And so if these are the options, then how can we make, like, you just sort of branch off, and then you might find, actually, I don't really need money to do that. Like I made my blog with no money. Like all the things I've done on very little to no budget. And I always find a way. And I just think that you can, if you have the will for it and you have the desire for it.
Right. And if you're one of those people that's listening that wants to assist people who have amazing dreams, I mean, that's something to also open up to, that there's amazing people out there that could use your assistance. So, you know, this can look so many different ways of what is perspective and what is it that we are here to do in the world, whether it's us coming up with the creative idea or assisting others in being creative and giving them the opportunity to really move forward. So,
and I think that's part of the reason I also really enjoy supporting other people that they're starting out, all at different levels. It's like that leap, that they're all taking that leap. And I just think that for me is so inspiring. So it's like, I feel like if I can support them as they grow, in a sense, it's all just coming back, and we're just supporting each other.
Yeah, it's a tenfold coming back for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And Anna, do you have something that you want to say also about just to inspire people? Because this is what we do here, inspiring. Well, wait, hold on. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I just want to piggyback on what you were saying, Eola, in that, my relocating to Kauai was a journey that I had to really face my own fears that were very deep and very unconscious. And I think I agree with Eola in that if there's a way to give myself more choices, to look at my situation, it helps me to come out of that place of fear. And I think that I did that without even thinking, because I wanted to be here so badly.
Right.
My heart was calling to be here, to be of service to children. And so that uplifted me every time I was in fear, that there was something bigger than the fear that was driving me. And so I think I would say that to every listener, is to look at the desire as being bigger than the fear.
Great.
And it'll carry you.
That's exactly.
I love that, Anna.
Yeah. So I just want to say, if you want to check out Eola's website, it's www.jumpforjoyphotoproject.com. And you can reach her here if you want to do anything with her on Anna's phone at
808-482-4878.
Great. Thank you so much for coming. And next week I have another guest. I have Lilu Masay up, and she's the one who interviews everyone. I know, and you're going to also interview her and photograph her. And we'll see you next week.